Hello students, welcome to this video. In this particular video, I'm going to explain the heat exchanger analysis by effectiveness NTU method. In the last two videos, I explained what is heat exchanger and what are the classification, as well as we discussed the heat exchanger analysis by LMTD method. As we discussed in the last video, it is very simple to use LMTD method uh, for heat exchanger analysis when inlet and outlet temperatures as well as mass flow rate for hot and cold fluids and overall heat transfer coefficients are available, or uh, easily it can be determined from specified relations. The heat transfer surface area and thus size of the heat exchanger can easily determine from the equation Q is equal to UA delta T LMTD, isn't it? So, however, if the type of heat exchanger and the size of heat exchanger are specified, and for prescribed mass flow rates, if only inlet temperatures of both fluids are known and outlet temperatures are to be determined, okay, so then the use of LMTD method is restricted. It is not possible to use LMTD method. In such case, if it is used LMTD method, then the procedure would require a tedious iterations, and it is not possible, so it is impractical. So in order to eliminate such complications from the solution point of view, we have to go for effectiveness NTU method, which is given by Case and Landon from their experimental procedures, and they found this effect, especially effectiveness NTU method is very effective. So before going to see that is what is that NTU method, we will see what you mean by heat exchanger effectiveness. So heat exchanger effectiveness is nothing but it is defined as the ratio of actual heat transfer to maximum possible heat transfer. So it is a dimensionless parameter, and it is defined as the ratio of actual heat transfer rate Q actual by heat exchanger to maximum possible heat transfer rate Q max. So it is denoted and expressed as effectiveness is equal to Q actual by Q max. Now we can able to calculate Q actual as either a cold fluid by using either cold fluid fluid parameters or hot fluid parameters. If it is cold fluid, then MC into CPC into TC naught minus TCI. That means the amount of heat absorbed by the cold fluid. That is what Q actual in case of cold fluid. If it is hot fluid, MC CP MP or MH CPH into THI minus TH naught. That is actually the amount of heat given by the hot fluid. Okay, the actual heat transfer rate in a heat exchanger can be determined from an energy balance on hot and cold fluids, and can be expressed as Q actual is equal to MHCpH into TH1 minus TH2, which is equal to CH into TH1 minus TH2, which is equal to MCCPC or TC1 minus TC2, or CC into Tc1 Tc2 minus Tc1. Okay, Tc2 minus Tc1. So if Ch is less than Cc, then Ch is C minimum and Cc is C max. If Ch is greater than Cc, then C minimum is Cc and C max is Ch. Okay. Next, we should know what is capacity ratio. Capacity ratio is nothing but the minimum capacity ratio by maximum. The ratio of minimum capacity heat capacity rate to maximum heat capacity rate. It is C min by C max. So in any heat exchanger, the objective is to either maximization of heating or cooling, that is to gain the maximum temperature difference, and hence the maximum heat transfer rate, that is Qmax. That can be determined with the maximum temperature difference in a heat exchanger. So the maximum temperature difference is the difference between inlet temperature of hot fluid and cold fluid. Okay. So before going to see what exactly Qmax, we will see a number of transfer units. What do you mean by NTU? Number of transfer units. So NTU is nothing but it is defined as the ratio of heat capacity to the heat capacity of the heat exchanger to heat capacity of flow. NTU is it is a measure of heat transfer, actual heat transfer area A, or the physical size of the heat exchanger. So it is a dimensionless parameter. Okay, where it is termed as NT is equal to UA by C minimum, where U is the overall heat transfer coefficient and A is the transfer area or heat transfer area of the heat exchanger, and C minimum is the minimum heat capacity rate between two fluids. The quantities U and C min are constant for a given condition, and so NTU is directly proportional to A. So therefore NTU is a measure of physical size, that means heat transfer area of the heat exchanger. So higher the value of NTU, that means larger the value of size. So higher the value of NTU, larger the size of the heat exchanger. Next we will see what exactly Qmax means, or maximum possible heat transfer means. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, in any heat exchanger, the main intention is to either maximize or maximization of heating or cooling. Okay. So it means to gain a maximum temperature difference, therefore maximum heat transfer rate will occur and it can be determined. Okay. So the maximum temperature difference in a heat exchanger will occur only when the temperature difference between inlet and outlet of the inlet temperatures of hot fluids are maximum. Okay, so that means delta T max is maximum. So a heat exchanger will reach its maximum possible temperature when Thi minus Tci, that is when the cold fluid is heated in inlet temperature of hot fluid, or second case when hot fluid is cooled to inlet temperature of cold fluid. Okay, in such conditions it can be achieved in a count flow heat exchanger because of infinite length. Okay, these conditions will not reach simultaneously unless the capacity rate of both fluids Ch is equal to Cc. Okay, when the heat capacity rates are not equal, uh, then not equal, one fluid having a minimum value of heat capacity, that is mCp, I can experience a maximum temperature difference. Okay, so therefore Qmax is equal to C min into Thi minus Tci, or Qmax is equal to Cc into Tc naught minus Tci, or Qmax is Cc into Thi minus Tci, which is equal to Cc into T1 minus T1, small letter T1. Okay. Or in second case, if you take here Qmax is equal to Ch into Th minus Thi minus Th naught, which is equal to Ch into Thi minus Tci, and Qmax is equal to Ch into Tt or T1 minus small letter T1. Okay. So therefore, effectiveness is equal to, or Qmax is equal to C min by, into T1 minus T1. So effectiveness is Q actual by Qmax, which is equal to mH Cph into Th1 minus Th2 divided by C minimum into Th1 minus Tc1, or MC Cpc into Tc2 minus Tc1 divided by C minimum into Th1 minus Tc1. Therefore, effectiveness is equal to Ch into capital letter T1 minus capital letter T2 divided by C minimum into capital letter T1 minus small letter T1, or the Ch is placed in the numerator placed in terms of cold fluid, Cc into T2 minus T1, and denominator is same. So therefore, Q actual is equal to effectiveness into Qmax, or that Qmax is, we know, C minimum into T1 minus small letter T1. This equation you can able to see in data handbook. Next, we will try to solve or try to derive effectiveness NTU method for parallel flow and counter flow heat exchanger. So, as I mentioned earlier, when there is when there is only two temperature is known, inlet temperatures of fluid known, then we have to go for effectiveness method. So, coming to effectiveness of parallel flow heat exchanger by NTU method, the first half derivation is similar to LMTD method. So you have to draw this diagram of parallel flow heat exchanger and temperature profile for that, and then assumption is also same. The overall heat transfer coefficient is constant, the flow conditions are steady, the specific heat and mass flow rate of both fluids are constant, the heat exchanger is perfectly insulated, so there is no heat loss to the surrounding, and there is no change of phase either of the fluid during the heat transfer. So these are the basic assumptions what we are going to make before going to analyze for a effectiveness. Then we know as like in LMTD method, we are considering an elemental area of dA of heat exchanger for the initial analysis purpose. Then we will integrate it, and we will apply to full length or full area of the heat exchanger. Okay. So the rate of heat through this elemental area is given by dq is equal to u dA into Th minus Tc, which is equal to U into dA into delta T. So by energy balance, we can write this dQ is also equal to minus mH Cph dTh, which is equal to mC Cpc into dTc. Equating that, we can write dQ is equal to minus mH Cph dTh is equal to mC Cpc into dTc is equal to U into dA into Th minus Tc. Here we know dTh is negative and dTc is positive, therefore dTh is equal to minus dQ by mH Cph, which is equal to minus dQ by Ch. Similarly, dTc is equal to dQ by mC Cpc, which is equal to dQ by Cc. Okay, so where Ch is heat capacity ratio of hot fluid and Cc is heat capacity rate of cool fluid. Sorry, heat capacity rate of hot fluid and heat capacity rate of cold fluid. Okay, correspondingly Ch and Cc are. Then we can equate this one. Therefore, dTh minus dTc is equal to d of Th minus Tc is equal to minus dQ into 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc. Okay, and we know that what is Th minus Tc, which is equal to minus U into dA. This dQ is nothing but here it is written. Okay, du into dA, Th minus Tc into 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc. So integrating both sides, we will get lane of Th minus Tc 1 to 2 is equal to lane of Th2 minus Tc2 divided by Th1 minus Tc1, which is equal to minus Ua by Ch into this Ch is taken as common term, so it will take while taking outside it will remain 1 plus Ch by Cc. Next, taking natural logarithmic, we can write this expression as Th2 minus Tc2 divided by Th1 minus Tc1 is equal to exponential to the power minus Ua by Ch into 1 plus Ch by Cc. Okay, so call this as equation 1. Now we will write what is Th2 and Tc2. We will try to find. We know the effectiveness is equal to therefore effectiveness is equal to Ch by actual heat transfer to maximum heat transfer. So Ch into Th1 minus Th2 divided by C min into Th1 minus Tc1, which is equal to Cc into Tc2 minus Tc1 divided by C min into Th1 minus Tc1. So now we will find the value of Th2 from this equation. Therefore Th1 is equal to this, sorry, Th2 is equal to Th1 into effectiveness, sorry, Th1 minus effectiveness into C minimum. This is gone to this side, so this numerator is going shifted to this side, so you will get effectiveness into C minimum Th1 minus Tc1 divided by this Ch is going to denominator. Similarly, when you equate this and uh, this term and effectiveness, then effectiveness is equal to Cc into Tc2 minus Tc1 divided by C min into Th1 minus Tc1, and Tc2 is equal to Tc2 is equal to C Tc1 plus effectiveness into C minimum into Th1 minus Tc1 divided by Cc. Okay. Substituting this Th1, Th2 and Tc1 in this equation 1, we can able to write like this: Th2 minus Tc2 is equal to Th1 minus effectiveness into C min into Th1 minus Tc1 by Ch minus Tc1 minus effectiveness into C min into Th1 minus Tc1 divided by Cc. So this Th1 minus these are the common term, so we can take it as Th2 minus Tc2 is equal to Th1 minus Tc1 into 1 minus effectiveness C min, that is common term, 1 minus effectiveness A into C min into 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc. Substituting this Th2 minus Tc2 in this equation 1, we can write this equation as Th1 minus Tc1 into 1 minus effectiveness into C minimum into 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc whole divided by Th1 minus Tc1 is equal to exponential to the power minus Ua by Ch into 1 plus Ch by Cc. So simplifying this Th1 minus Tc1 get cancelled, only remaining is this one, 1 minus effectiveness into C minimum into 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc is equal to exponential to the power minus Ua by Ch into 1 plus Ch by Cc. So now I want to write the expression for effectiveness that's why I can simplify like this: 1 minus exponential to the power minus Ua by Ch into 1 plus Ch by Cc divided by C minimum into 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc. So if Cc is greater than Ch, then C minimum is Ch and C maximum is Cc. Then I can write this equation as effectiveness into 1 minus exponential to the power minus Ua by C minimum into 1 plus C min by C max divided by C min into 1 by C min by 1 by C max. Taking the common term, I will get C minimum here, so it get cancelled. The C min by C max is nothing but C, so U minus Ua by C minimum is nothing but NTU. Okay, so this C min by C max I will get here. So finally I will get effectiveness for parallel flow as 1 minus exponential to the power minus NTU into 1 plus C divided by 1 plus C. So this expression is available in data handbook. So this, by this way we can find the effectiveness of parallel flow heat exchanger. Next, if effectiveness of counterflow heat exchanger. So sketch is similar to LMTD method. You can able to draw counterflow heat exchanger and temperature profile for that, and assumption is also same as that of a parallel flow. Okay, but and first half derivation is also same. So here also we will consider for elemental area dA of heat exchanger, and we will write the expression for rate of heat flow through this elemental area dQ is equal to U into dA Th minus Tc, and then for by energy balance we will write that dQ is also equal to minus mH Cph dTh, which is equal to minus mc Cpc dTc. Therefore, the energy balance over a differential area dA may be written as dQ is equal to minus mH Cph dTh is equal to minus mc Cpc dTc, which is equal to U into dA Th minus Tc. So here both term dTh and dTc is negative. Therefore, you will get dTh is equal to minus dQ by mH Cph, which is equal to minus dQ by Ch, and dTc is equal to minus dQ by Cc. And now writing therefore dTh minus dTc is equal to, you will get minus dQ into 1 by Ch minus 1 by Cc, and rearrange that rearranging writing the equation for dq as well as rearranging and integrating, you will get lane th minus tc 1 to 2 is equal to lane th2 minus tc1 divided by lane th1 minus tc2 is equal to ua by cc into 1 minus cc by ch. To take natural logarithmic, we can also write th2 minus tc1 is equal to, th2 minus tc1 divided by th1 minus tc2 is equal to exponential to the power ua by cc into 1 minus cc by ch. Call this as equation number 1, and try to find what is the value of th1 and th2 and tc2 from this effectiveness equation. So we know that the effectiveness is equal to q actual by q max, and writing the equation relation for in terms of cold fluid and hot fluid for q actual, we can able to write effectiveness is equal to ch by ch into th1 minus th2 divided by c min into th1 minus tc1, which is equal to cc into tc2 minus tc1 divided by c min into th1 minus tc1. So rearranging that, we will get th2 equation and tc2 equation, and then equating that in this equation, we will get th1 minus effectiveness into this, and th1 minus effectiveness into for tc2 value, and simplify that, we are going to get this equation. Now further simplifying and equating C minimum is equal to C, and CC and C max is CH, we will get this equation, and further simplifying, we will get 1 minus effectiveness into C minimum divided by C max is equal to 1 minus effectiveness into exponential to the power UA by C min into 1 minus C min by C max, and finally simplify, still simplifying, we will get 1 minus exponential to the power UA by C min into 1 minus C min by C max is equal to effectiveness into C min by C max minus exponential to the power UA by C min into 1 minus C min by C max. Then finally we are intended to find the relation of effectiveness, so this will go to numerator. At last we will get this equation, 1 minus exponential to the power minus UA by C min into 1 minus C min by C max divided by 1 minus C min by C max into exponential to the power minus UA by C min into 1 minus C min by C max. We know minus UA by C min is NTU and C min by C max is C, so we can able to write effectiveness is equal to 1 minus exponential to the power minus NTU into 1 minus C divided by 1 minus C into exponential to the power minus NTU into 1 minus C. This equation is for effectiveness for counterflow heat exchanger.